All right, welcome to our yoga class today. Today we are going to focus a little bit on our chakras. If you're not familiar with chakra work in yoga, it's really just looking at our energy centers starting from the base of our torso, working at grounding, and then moving up through the spine into the apex of our head or the crown of our head. Nothing too complicated today, just kind of starting that exploration of different energy centers, realizing if there's certain centers or certain bases of energy or nervous system kind of focus that really touch you or really awaken a certain light or energy that maybe you've been struggling with and you didn't realize it, or it's perhaps an area that you know you need to work on just a little bit more. So we'll just start that exploration today in our introduction to chakra practice. Try to enjoy yourself, try to have lots of fun, and we will work through some breathing to begin the practice. Lots of flowing with this vinyasa style yoga through different sun salutations, warming the body up, working with different energies, lots of circulation and blood flow. And then the end of practice, we will conclude with a chakra balancing meditation, which you can do laying down or seated. Your position is your preference. All right, so taking ourselves down to our mat, let's begin in Shavasana. So as we take ourselves to the floor, first noticing how it feels to come down to the mat, making sure that we're comfortable with our surroundings, what's going on through the sound, what's going on in the room around us. Are we aware of the noises? Are we aware of any distractions? The first step is to become aware and then to either remove or accept that distraction. Once we become aware of our external surroundings, let's focus on the internal. Noticing the body against the mat, the heart beating in our chest, even the temperature of our body. With our legs extended, feet turned out, our arms are down on the floor with our palms facing up to the ceiling. And we are in Shavasana, translated into corpse pose. Perhaps today your back is bothering you, in which case you may prefer bending the knees and even allowing them to touch in the middle with your feet a little bit wider. It's very relaxing on the backs. Otherwise, with legs extended, we're noticing any stretch or any discomfort through the backs, the hips. Practicing our active two-part breath. We breathe in through the nose, allowing the diaphragm to expand. And on the exhale, we breathe out through the nose and we feel the body melt into the floor. Giving ourselves permission to put everything else aside, that to-do list, that deadline, nothing else matters right now as we're being mindful, which means that we're focusing on the present moment as each moment comes, not relishing in the past or focused on the future. Stress and worries can dissipate. And we're doing so with a non-judgmental perspective. We're taking each moment as it comes without feeling like we need to fix it. Instead, we're just being aware of it. Reaching those arms long up overhead when we're able to. That big inhale will help us reach. Maybe today the arms are on the floor, or perhaps they're reaching up towards the ceiling. Let's notice the expansiveness through the rib cage, the lengthening through the back, up and through the spine. What are we feeling through the shoulders? Do we have lots of range of motion today, or are we feeling restricted in any way? Let's release those arms down now. And we draw the knees into the chest when we're ready. Holding on to the shins, or maybe we're holding on to the thighs. Go ahead and start that gentle rock right to left, side to side. As we take that rock, We may notice tightness through the hips, maybe some pinching in through the front of the hip flexors. We may also notice gentle kneading in through the knots or any tight or tender muscles in through the back, running up through the glutes. From here, we're going to give the legs just one more squeeze as we roll our ankles, loosening up the joints, encouraging blood flow and circulation down through those toes into the arches. And we take our feet and set them down on the floor, roughly 90-degree angle of the knee bend. Feet and knees are placed hips width distance apart as we set our arms just off to the sides. Roll the shoulders into the mat, activating those abdominal muscles. Squeeze your bum as we inhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. And exhale, slowly lower. Noticing if you need to make any adjustments. I'm going to walk my feet in just a little bit closer. Inhale, lift up. Now I can activate my glutes more effectively. Exhale, slowly lowering. Control with your core muscles. Inhale, that includes abdominal and hips, articulating through the back as we exhale vertebrae by vertebrae down into the ground, completing one more lift. Inhale, squeeze, pressing down through all four corners of our feet, and exhale, slowly release. Amazing. Take our time as we slowly roll over onto our sides, setting ourselves up onto all fours. Once we're on all fours, I want us just to press back into child's pose, sinking our hips into our heels as we extend our arms out long. Now, for whatever reason, if in child's pose, extended position is not comfortable or working for us today, feel free to take the hands underneath the forehead in our rest position, or we can even bring them back down, really relaxing. Choosing the position that's right for you. From here, we're taking a half flow series. We'll inhale forward, hands coming in front of us, finding a kneeling plank, and we exhale, lower only as far as we're able to control today. Inhale, press straight up, keeping the back flat. Exhale, pushing back into child's pose. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, push back. And one more time. Inhale, forward into a kneeling plank. Exhale, hovering above the mat. Inhale, pressing straight up. Exhale, pushing back into child's pose. Gently curling our toes, lifting our hips up. We're finding down dog. Now, as this is our first down dog, I want us to notice the ground. The points of contact on the floor are our hands and our feet. And I'm just going to walk the dog, pedaling from toe to heel, trying to become more familiar with the hands and feet touching the ground. This is our foundation. We build from the ground up. From our wonderful down dog, we'll start walking those hands and feet in together. Coming halfway up to monkey, we draw the shoulder blades in, pull the belly buttons up nice and high, creating a long flat back. Gently switching weight into the heels, reaching those arms forward. If the arms reaching up towards the ceiling is uncomfortable for the shoulders, we take them into heart center instead. Still sitting back through the hips and heels, drawing those bellies in. We take one big inhale, reach up tall, and exhale, relax. Roll those shoulders down and step to the top edge of our mat. From here, we're going to take our first sun salutation series. This is focusing on chakra 1, which is the root chakra, the base of our spine coming down through the foundation of the legs. Making sure that we're aware of how strong we can feel, stable in our mountain pose, across big toes, little toes, inner and outer edges of the feet, zipping up through those inner thighs, and then we finish with a strong base. That top ahead, crown is held proudly. With our inhale, we reach the hands up above head to prayer. Now exhale, swan dive, hinging at the hips, down into forward fold. Softening the knees as we step back through plank into down dog. From down dog, we'll take our knees to the floor and press back into child's pose. And again, whatever child's pose looks like to you today. Trying to get the forehead down, the hips into the heels. We curl the toes, lift those hips back up into down dog. And then step both feet up between our hands, coming halfway up to monkey. Bending our knees, big inhale, lift up. We're going to add a lunge this time as we exhale, swan dive, hinging at the hips into forward fold. Take just the left leg back behind us, leaving that right leg in lunge. We can leave the hands on the floor as we're holding our first lunge of the class, finding our balance, noticing how this feels. Really ground your hands now as we pick that right foot up behind you. You can always do this with your knees on the ground, pressing back into down dog. Lifting the tailbone high, backs are nice and straight as we bring the knees to the floor to press back into child's pose, sinking those hips, flattening out the tops of our feet, coming closer to the ground. Curling our toes, big inhale, lift up to down dog. Exhale, step your right foot only forward to lunge. Now you might need to help it. We're repeating the same lunge that we just did. Noticing any stretch through the hips. We're holding it for just a couple of breaths. Grounded with those hands, use your abdominal muscles as you help that left foot to step front. Coming halfway up into monkey. Softening our knees, big inhale, reverse. One more time, exhale, swan dive. Forward fold. This time the right foot steps back behind us into a lunge. Again, if we're not familiar with transitioning from standing into lunges or coming down to the floor, it takes some time. It takes some practice. Really important to keep working and continuing on those graceful transitions. Helps with our coordination. As we ground the hands, step our left foot back through plank, pushing back into down dog. Please just give yourself permission to try and find out what works best for you today. Bringing the knees down, flattening out the feet, straightening up the toes as we press back into child's pose. Curling our toes, big inhale, lift up to down dog. On that exhale, we're looking up between the hands, stepping left foot forward. Repeating that same lunge, noticing you want knee straight above ankle. Shoulders are strong. The hands are there, but they're just there for a little bit of support. Grounding the front foot, using your abdominal muscles. Pick that back foot up to come forward. Coming halfway up to monkey. Softening our knees, big inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. That was chakra 1. So from that chakra 1 position, that was grounding through the root chakra. We are coming into chakra 2, which is looking at sacral chakra, more up through the sexual organs, if you will, across the pelvis and through the hips. So what we're going to do is start in Tadasana, taking our arms down, and then I'll invite you to bring them up to heart center, right at that prayer position in front of the heart. The second chakra, working in through the pelvis, does emote a lot of emotions. There are a lot of feelings involved. From here, I want us to just bring those arms up, reach them nice and tall, squeeze the abdominal muscles, just arch the back a little bit. Take a big inhale at the top. Exhale, swan dive, releasing those hands down into forward fold. From forward fold, we'll step just the left foot back behind us, taking a lunge position that will turn into lizard position. We bring both hands to the inside of the leg, heel toeing that right leg out just a little bit, holding a deeper lunge. And I'll invite you to maybe try bringing the knee down to the floor, only if it works for you. Maybe even your elbows down to the floor. Keeping that knee stacked right above your big toe. So if you're noticing that you're doing something crazy with your legs or you're contorted into a strange position, taking the progressions and putting them back into reverse. From here, we're going to ground that back foot. Take your hands strongly as we sweep into a down dog. Holding your down dog for just a moment before coming into tabletop. Finding our cats and cows. We inhale, open the chest, look forward. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back, focusing on that pelvic tilt. Inhale, tip the hips forward, open the chest. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tipping the hips back as we round. One more of each. Inhale, tip forward, open the bellies, expose the neck. Exhale, tuck under, pull the bellies in and round. Amazing. From here, I'm going to ask that we take ourselves into down dog. From down dog, we're going to kick the left foot front this time into lunge. Now we've got the other foot forward, the left foot, knee right above ankle. From the lunge, we find lizard. We bring both hands to the inside, heel toeing that foot out. We can stay here. We can take the knee down, or we can even take the elbows onto the mat. Playing with it, your left and rights are not always equal. And as we hold lizard, just double check your big toes on the ground and your knees still stacked directly on top of the ankle, opening up through that sacral region, right through the pelvis. We bring the hands up, stepping that back foot all the way to the top of the mat. We might need to heel toe our feet together a little bit as we take ourselves up through monkey, softening our knees, big inhale, reverse, taking our hands up to prayer, a little arch. Exhale, hinging, forward fold. We're going to repeat that, starting with the left foot this time. So we bring the right foot behind us into lunge. Finding lizard, hands come to the inside, right underneath our shoulders. We heel toe that left leg out a little bit wider to the edge of our mat. We may need to play with the position, coming to the knees or coming down onto our elbows. Making each pose work for your body today, and not just settling into a position you think is right. Really experimenting. Noticing the stretch through the inner thighs as we come up onto our hands again, grounding as we press that foot back behind us, pushing into down dog. Child's pose would be great too if you would prefer. From down dog, we'll come into tabletop, preparing for those cats and cows. Release the toes in the back, hands directly under shoulders. We inhale, untuck the tailbone as we open forward with the chest. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the bellies in, tuck the chin. Inhale, open. Really focusing on the tip of the hips. Exhale, round, tuck the tailbone, bellies in. One more of each. Inhale, open. And exhale, round, up nice and high. Great job. Tuck the toes, lift the hips high up to down dog. Taking a moment to straighten out the shoulders as we get ready for the right lunge. Looking up between the hands, step that right foot forward, helping the foot get there so knee is right above ankle. From our lunge, right hand comes to the inside as we heel toe that foot out a little bit wider. Notice the position. Sometimes this is quite difficult, so really playing with this if we need to, helping yourself get into this position, not judging yourself harshly if you're feeling like you're restricted in any way. Take our time as we step ourselves up to the top of our mat. Heel toe those feet together a little bit closer, coming up halfway to monkey. Allow ourselves a moment, finding that neutral alignment, softening our knees, big inhale, swan dive, reverse, and exhale, release. Feel free to roll those shoulders as we prepare to come into the third chakra. The third chakra is going to be right at the navel. The navel is going to be focusing a little bit more on what we would think of as directing. So I want us to just be mindful of directing. Taking those feet hips a distance apart, rolling those shoulders down, making sure that you're standing in a really nice tall Tadasana position. Taking our hands right into heart center. We start with a lateral extension, taking that right arm, big inhale, lift up, and over, exhale. Inhale, lift up, and exhale into heart center. Inhale, left arm, lift up, and exhale, side bend. Inhale, lift up, and exhale in. Let's do that one more each side. It feels good. Soft knees. Inhale, right arm. Exhale, reach to the left. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, finding heart center. Last time, inhale, left arm up. Exhale, over to the right. Good. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, finding heart center. From here, we're going to reach those arms up, both tall together. And now exhale, swan dive. Forward fold. From our forward fold position, please step our left foot back, short stance warrior one. Feet are flat on the ground, Hinging from the hips, we reach those arms up nice and tall, grounding through your feet, opening up all along your sternum. Hands can be held high, or we can find heart center. Let's make sure that we're pressing both feet firmly into the floor, strong through those legs, opening up in through warrior two next. We'll open those arms out to the side as we turn the body to face against the long edge of the mat. Arms are stacked on top of those legs, bending into that right knee, feeling strong, feeling powerful, using the core here, forcing that belly button to try to face that long edge of the mat. Coming into side angle, keeping the belly button facing the long edge. We bring that right elbow onto the thigh, trying to make a right ankle as we lift that left arm high to the ceiling. Now, if anyone would like to take an extended position, please feel free to reach that left arm overhead. Just make sure that we haven't collapsed through the chest or shoulders. Still thinking about strong arm positions. Big inhale, lifting up through warrior two, taking our exhale, spiral down through lunge, stepping back into plank. From your plank position, let's press ourselves all the way back into down dog. From down dog, we're going to repeat that on the other leg. So we look up between our hands, taking an inhale, kick the foot forward, helping that knee get to 90 degrees as we step the right foot into a short stance, warrior one. Walking up the leg or sweeping those arms up tall, shoulders come down our body as we zip up. Couple really nice breaths. We're trying to stretch that back calf as we push the heel down against the floor, holding our body open, preparing for warrior two. Turning to the long edge of the mat, I always need to heel toe my back foot out just a little bit as I bend into my left knee, shoulders down, arms extended, belly button faces the long edge of the mat. Be aware of that position through the solar, right through the navel. Finding ourselves in side angle, bringing that left elbow right angle to the thigh. Top arm can be up to the ceiling, or we can extend it, opening up through that midsection. Very nice. Feeling open, feeling strong. Big inhale, warrior two. Exhale, spiral down. Finding your lunge, grounding your hands, stepping back and through plank. Finding down dog or child's pose if you prefer. Pressing back, find that stretch. From here, we're going to step our feet all the way up into forward fold. Just hanging in forward fold for a moment. Relax your neck, nice soft knees, wherever your hands may be. Couple big breaths. Now softening the knees, coming up halfway to monkey. Allow your head and your heart to balance out the blood flow. Couple big breaths as we soften the knees once more. Big inhale, lift tall, and exhale, release. Good. At this point, I'll invite us to just take a quick drink if you need one. I know it can be quite vigorous, quite invigorating to work through these chakras, a lot of energy. So we're just going to do one more chakra sun sal before we bring ourselves down to the mat. And this will be chakra 7. Chakra 7 is supposed to be about realization or enlightenment. We're talking about coming all the way up through that third eye into the crown of our head. So from here, if we could take our feet right to the top of the mat, finding our Tadasana position. So feet are just underneath our hips, feeling all four corners, rolling those shoulders down. I'm actually going to tip my camera up so you can see just a little bit clearer what my hands are doing. We're going to start with our palms down and then inhale, sweep them up, bend those knees as we exhale, open them wide, open them to the ceiling. Good, holding them here, support your strong backs with an even stronger stomach. Nice big back bend if you're able to. One more big inhale. Exhale, reach your arms up and swan dive down. From that forward fold, I want us to come up into monkey. Okay, from monkey, soft knees as we step that left foot back. Reach those arms up high and open your chest into warrior one. Expansive, open, looking high towards the ceiling. Holding it here. If this is uncomfortable for the arms, you can always take heart center, trying to just have that little arch through the back, supporting with your bellies. Taking one more big inhale. Reach your arms up, exhale, bring your hands down. Step your foot back, find down dog. We are going to take a modified dog position, bringing ourselves onto all fours. Straighten out the feet, extend the arms long, and try to bring the forehead right at that third eye to the ground. Allow your shoulders to just melt a little bit, really stretching through the thoracic spine. A couple big breaths. Good, and then push yourself all the way back into down dog once more. From down dog, coming into a flow, we inhale forward through plank and exhale chaturanga, that slow lower. Squeezing the shoulder blades as we inhale, open up through cobra, look a little bit higher to the ceiling. Amazing. Exhale, press back all the way through down dog. We're going to look up between our hands as we repeat the right leg, stepping front. Reaching those arms up tall, warrior one, expansive through the arms. Noticing how great this feels to feel like we're vulnerable, we're exposed. Big inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, finding the top of your mat. Working ourselves into the second side. Tadasana. We're going to bend those knees just a little bit, pull the bellies in. Big inhale, lift up. Now exhale, open the shoulders, support yourself, bracing at the back, not crunching or compressing, opening up, lifting up and over those shoulder blades. One big inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. From your forward fold, we're going to come halfway up to monkey, big inhale. Now this time we step our right foot back, sweep those arms up, warrior one. Expansive through the upper back if you're able to. Bellies in, open that back, big stretch of the chest, extending through the neck, looking tall up to the ceiling. Inhale, lifting arms up, and exhale, swan dive all the way down. Stepping back through plank and all the way back, down dog or child's pose. Notice what's happening through the body right now as we're lengthening the spine. Coming down through tabletop, flattening out the tops of the feet as we prepare for modified dog or puppy dog. Extend those hands, lift the hips up as we bring the third eye to the floor. That tactile response, the stimulus of touching that seventh chakra into the floor, grounding, bringing attention, bringing focus. Slowly lifting our body up. Setting those hands underneath the shoulders as we ground the toes, lift the hips high, coming up into down dog. We're going to repeat that left side after our flow series. Inhale forward through plank position. We can have the knees on the floor as we exhale chaturanga, that slow controlled lower. Inhale, scooping up for cobra. Notice if we're able to really lift out of the shoulders, lifting the eyes skyward. Curl the toes, press back into down dog. Looking up between hands, sweeping left foot forward. Preparing for the final warrior one. We plant that foot down, big inhale, sweep high. Open the shoulders, exhale. Belly buttons in. Slow your breathing. One more big inhale. Lift those arms up. Exhale, release. Stepping to the top of your mat and fidget, fidget, fidget. From here, I'm going to ask that we slowly, slowly lift those arms up and just exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Hinging from the hips. Relaxing over the legs, stretching up the hamstrings, down the backs, into our necks. In our necks, we can just softly wiggle the head right to left, shaking no, and then nodding yes. Taking our time, stepping those knees down. We can sweep our legs around as we find ourselves coming in to butterfly. Butterfly, feet are flat on the floor, gluing those toes together. I want us to, again, just imagine all of the chakra regions that we were thinking of earlier, the grounding, the connections through the point of contact and the floor. So in this case, it will be sits bones and feet. We're exposing through the sacral region. We're sitting tall with the navel, and we're feeling enlightenment through top of head, finding our posture growing as we focus on the crown, just lifting a little bit taller, feeling slightly prouder, taking a big inhale here. Now I want us to hinge forward with our exhale. Elbows can be in, pressing down, maybe if we want to focus a little bit more on that hip region. And if anyone would like to just give a little bit more attention to that 7th chakra, perhaps we're coming down or we're even touching if we feel like we need maybe a little bit extra with that realization. Slowly rolling ourselves up, helping those knees together, and taking ourselves all the way down to the ground. On the ground, we're going to be coming into our final stretch before meditation. We gather the knees into the chest. Whenever we're down there, take your time. Maybe you need to put socks on, maybe a sweater. Maybe you have a blanket or a pillow nearby that you like to use when you're meditating or in final relaxation. Now, before getting really comfy cozy, let's find our last stretch, which will be our spinal balance, our spinal stretch. Taking the knees out, arms come out to the side. We find an inhale at the top. Lower both knees to the right with your exhale. And look over that left arm if it's available to you. Just wringing ourselves out, finding any release. Letting go, giving ourselves permission to surrender to the mat now. Inhale, lifting those knees up. And exhale, lower to the left. Looking over that right side. Perhaps we're becoming aware of any areas that we need to focus on this week or areas that maybe need some more attention. We realize this during the practice. Inhale, lifting the knees. And exhale, we can lower those legs down, finding a position that will be comfortable to meditate in, whether it's knees together restorative, hands on heart and belly. Maybe you'd prefer to take butterfly. Regardless of where you're choosing, I want us to find stillness. I want us to be comfortable. We don't need to be uncomfortable while we're meditating. There's no strict rule book saying that we have to sit in a certain pose. Practicing mindfulness can be done whenever, even when we're washing the dishes or brushing our teeth. We just need to be attentive and aware of only the task at hand. That being said, I am going to bring us through our final meditation. If you're new to meditation, please just enjoy relaxing. Don't focus too hard, just listening to the words that I'm saying as you're focusing on here and now, letting your body still stay calm. Maybe your breathing is there to help you, or perhaps you're just breathing naturally. Trying to close your eyes, still staying present and within ourselves, and less concerned about what's happening externally. Now, this is a simple visualization meant for healing and cleansing our chakras, and developing the ability of the inner eye to visualize and perceive different colors. So it's quite pretty if we allow it to be. While we're in our meditation position, whatever we've chosen, I want you to ground and center your energy. Feeling grounded, let's imagine, if you will, a bright disc of white light, just floating directly above your head. And this is where we're going to be drawing each of our colors from, this white disc right above our head. Let the first color be red, pulling it through your crown chakra, down through your whole spinal column, and finally filling up your first chakra, which is your tailbone region. And it's going to be filled with a vibrant color of red. Holding that color in your first chakra for just a few moments, noticing how your body feels with this vibrant red. Do you like it? Does the body feel energized, or does it feel uncomfortable? Next, returning to the area above that crown chakra, right above the head. And I want you to pull orange light out of that white disc. We're going to run it down throughout the entire body, noticing what effect this orange color has on us. Bring it down to our second chakra and fill your belly with a vibrant orange color. Returning to the crown, I want us to find that golden yellow. Draw the light and pull it through the body down into your third chakra, which will be our rib cage, that navel area that we focused on today. Imagining a warm golden glow coming out of our body at the solar plexus, with rays streaming through each part of our body, filling and warming us. As the third chakra has to do with energy distribution throughout the body, these rays are important for spreading what we would deem our inner fire. Next, we come to the heart. This is our color green. I want us to feel this color just wash over us, bringing with it the sense of love, and affinity, and peace for the world around us, as well as ourselves. See this green color as a warm emerald glow surrounding and encasing our heart. Next, we reach into that white disc above the crown for a bright blue, pulling down in through your throat chakra. With the throat chakra, we want it to allow the light bright blue to soothe the throat, as well as relaxing your arms and shoulders. Go ahead and allow that to happen. Feel the blue rays extending all around your throat, communicating with the world around us. Now we come to the third eye itself, usually seen as a deep indigo blue. Feel the coolness of this color as it bathes your third eye. Allow the indigo to wash any foreign images away, anything that could cause us distraction or disruption, cleansing and soothing that inner screen. Now from the third eye, we move into that crown chakra, the seventh chakra, energizing and balancing with a vibrant violet. Vibrant violet sitting on the crown of our head. Feel this violet light streaming into the crown chakra, energizing all of the colors in each of the chakras. Now check the chakras, the energy, to see if they're retaining their colors. Starting at the base, that seventh chakra is at the top. Running from the base, number one, that red, orange. We've got our yellow, green, blue, working up the rainbow into that indigo and violet. Now notice which colors are the strongest or the brightest. Notice which colors feel nourishing or energizing. The colors that feel most welcome probably represent energies you need most at this time, which is what we love about our chakra energy classes. So telling, becoming more self-aware. These colors that feel the least welcome likely represent areas that you typically avoid, or maybe are just areas of difficulty today. You need them all just the same, all of them equally. Pale or washed out colors represent weaker areas, whereas if you're seeing any strong colors or if any chakra really resonated with you today, it could represent solidity. Internally, we're just playing with the colors until they feel balanced. Hopefully, this will help balance your aura or all of your energies. And if you're still not sure about chakras, I hope that just taking this time out of your day today allowed you to relax, to press the reset button, to investigate and explore a little bit what's going on physiologically, emotionally, physically. Now, as we come out of our meditation, whatever position that may be, I'll ask that we just wiggle the fingers, maybe wiggle the toes, give ourselves little circles at the joints, maybe even hugging the knees or rolling the shoulders, finding ourselves in a tall seated position at your leisure so that we can say our final goodbye together. With our hands coming just down on our knees, I'd like to personally say thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed the journey, and perhaps this will spark your interest in further chakra work. Otherwise, until next week, we inhale, hands all the way up above head to prayer. Exhale, coming down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.